Top of the morning to you folks, and a happy St. Patrick's Day. Now this year for St. Patrick's Day movie I chose something that, well, it is Irish, and it takes place in Ireland, but it really has nothing to do with St. Patrick's Day, but it has a whole lot to do with drinking, and I will explain. This is Grabbers. Yeah, Grabbers is an Irish movie from 2012. I bet you thought this year I was going to pick another Leprechaun movie, didn't you? Well, this is even better. Grabbers is a movie about a small town on a small island off the coast of Ireland that is invaded by monsters from outer space. But they're these tentacly, squishy monsters that basically suck the blood out of their victims, so they prey on the townsfolk of this small Irish fishing village. Our main protagonist here is a drunken police officer. Well, a cop with a drinking problem. Now that's something I just saw in Wolf Cop. And this guy, I mean, he's pretty severe alcoholic, but he's not quite as much of a dirtbag as the Wolf Cop guy. He is introduced to his temporary partner, very attractive female officer that comes over from the mainland. The two of them, they're kind of polar opposites. She's very straight-laced by the book, doesn't really approve of his drinking at all. Yeah, so the two of them, they clash at first. And then they learn to get along through the course of the movie. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of a love story thing, You're expecting that in every horror movie. There's got to be some kind of love interest romance going on in there. But where this movie really shines is, well, aside from the CGI monsters, which are quite good, actually. Aside from the monsters, the supporting cast of this is actually, I think they're hilarious. They're like real people, but they're just saying funny things, but they're not doing completely ridiculous things. Like, it is a comedy, but it's not a slapstick, in-your-face comedy. It's not earnest or something like that. No, it's kind of subtle. It's conversational humor. Just, some quirky characters, all very Irish, of course, because this is, let's not forget, this is in Ireland. I found it to be pretty, I would assume, authentic kind of, dialogue and situations with the characters in there. I mean, I don't really know. I've never been to Ireland, and I'm not from there, and I don't really know that many Irish people. So the twist in here, and the thing that makes it a comedy premise, is that these creatures, the Grabbers, they are allergic to alcohol. It's like poison to them, but they have to ingest it for it to do any harm to them. Our heroes discover that as one of them is trying to suck blood out of a person who's intoxicated, it makes the Grabber sick, and it has to let go, and it almost kills the thing. So they decide that, well, let's all just get everybody drunk, and then we'll wait for help to arrive, because the next day they're going to send in, like, the National Guard or whatever, but they have to come from the mainland, so they have to wait overnight. So in order to keep the people safe, they have to get them all drunk, and they gather them all at the pub, even the old folks that never leave their houses, and, they get them all down to the pub, and they don't tell them why they're doing this, but they just gather them all together for a party, and they're all partying, and they're all wasted, and it's just pretty funny. And it's also pretty funny watching these guys trying to handle, they're trying to come up with weapons, to fight these Grabbers with, or the ones who know about the Grabbers, and all they can come up with is a super soaker, which they try and turn into a flamethrower. That doesn't really work. And a nail gun, which drunk people with a nail gun, yeah, it's not advisable. One guy's got a shillelagh, and I don't know, overall I found it was a really good time. When it comes to the horror part, a lot of stuff is by the book. It plays out like your standard horror movie, but different in that the characters aren't a bunch of, 20-something prettied up douchebags like in a lot of American movies. No, they're just regular Irish people. I think the uniqueness of the setting, at least unique to me, for a horror movie, kind of made it a lot better than some of the others. It's coming from a different point of view than your standard North American-made horror movie. Anyway, Grabbers is good fun. You know, there's some gore in it, and there's some cool monster effects in it. There's some funny things that happen. There's some cool visual gags in there that kind of work. It's not drop-dead hilarious, but it is amusing, and it's a good time, and it's a feel-good kind of movie. Maybe just watching old people getting drunk and stuff was kind of... I thought it was funny. And basically, like, Darby O'Gill versus Cthulhu is what we're seeing here, I think. But it's an enjoyable, fun monster movie. Reminded me a lot of Eight-Legged Freaks. You know, those are spiders. Those aren't sea creatures. That took place in the desert. And this takes place in a fishing village in Ireland. But what I mean is, like, you know, the ensemble cast, and there's a little bit of history for a bunch of the people in there. There's, you know, they've all got their backstories, and there's all kinds of different people, diverse casts that it all comes together to, you know, deal with the problem of the monsters. It's not played too seriously either, and it's a lot of fun because of that. So I think I'm going to have to give Grabbers a B+. Yeah, very positive B+. I had a smile on my face for this whole time. I don't know, just seeing the Irish culture, and I love hearing Irish people talk. It just makes me feel good for whatever reason. And it was interesting to not see any leprechauns. There wasn't a whole lot of stereotypes in there. You might say the whole drinking thing might be an Irish stereotype, but I think that's kind of inaccurate, to be quite honest. When your life is at stake and you have to drink, might as well have some fun with it, right? So yeah, I did have fun with this, so I'm going to give Grabbers a B+. So until next time, have a good one, everybody.